Let me ask you something. What's the number? I'm talking the actual dollar figure that would let you walk away from a shift, maybe drop a call rotation, or hand in your notice. Could you tell me? Okay, I want an answer quick. No hem and hawing. No quote, well, it depends. Most of you can, and that's not a knock on you, but it's the most common blind spot that I see in physicians building a side business these days. You've got the hustle, you've got the idea, maybe even several of them. We've talked about that in the past. Maybe even got the first few dollars coming in already. But if I stop you mid sentence and ask you, okay, what number are you actually building towards? I think a lot of you would go quiet. And here's why that matters more than it sounds like it should. Because without a real number, you don't have a finish line. You just are on a treadmill. You can run really, really hard on a treadmill and still be exactly where you started. So today I want to talk about the real number, not your salary, not some round figure that sounds impressive at a dinner party or looks good on a whiteboard. The actual number that would change your life if you hit it, and why chasing the wrong one is quietly killing good businesses before they even get a fair chance to work. My name is Dr. Mike Woo-Ming. This is Bootstrap MD, the podcast for physician and healthcare entrepreneurs. So let's get into it. Here's what I see over and over again. Physicians building a side business, they fall into one of two traps with, quote, the number. Trap number one is you're trying to fully replace your income right out of the gate. You do the math on your current salary, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year, whatever it is for you. And you set that as the target for your brand new business. Now, subconsciously, anything short of that feels like a failure. So for months, maybe years, the business does perfectly normal, healthy, early stage things. It signs up its first customers, it finds its voice, it figure out what is actually working. And the whole time to you, it feels like it's not working. A lot of you are quietly giving up on something that just needed a little more time. You're grading it on a curve built for a business maybe 10 times its age. So that's trap number one. Trap number two is you never set a number at all. You're just kind of building something on the side. You're busy. You're doing webinars, you're posting on LinkedIn, you're taking a call here and there, and you're saying yes to every opportunity that lands in your inbox. But nobody ever asked you that question. What are you busy building for? What is it? What are you building toward? What is that target? And then maybe a year goes by and you generally can't tell me if it's working because you never define what, quote, working ever means. You've been in motion, you haven't slowed down, you haven't necessarily been moving anywhere. So you know what trap one actually sounds like out loud? It sounds like, I know I'll make it when I replace my whole salary. And trap two, it sounds like, I'm just kind of seeing where this is going. And both of these situations are where doctors are avoiding the same 10 minutes of honest math. One is aiming at a fantasy and one is refusing to aim at all. Now, here's the part I really want you to sit with because it's the reframe that this whole episode we're going over hangs on. Your real number isn't your income. Your real number is your freedom number. So here's the difference. Your income is what you currently make, a number, some hospital system, or an insurance panel, or a partnership formula that was basically assigned to you. You didn't choose it? Not really. It's an artifact of a system. Your freedom number is completely different. It's the smallest monthly amount of outside income that can actually change your actual life. It lets you drop that Sunday call shift. It lets you say no to that extra clinic day. It lets you breathe on a random Tuesday afternoon instead of watching the clock until 5 o'clock. And here's what almost nobody does the math on. Your freedom number is usually a fraction of your income, not a tenth of it, not a fifth, but a real fraction, not because you're aiming low, because you don't need to replace 100% of a salary to change 100% of how your week feels. Financial freedom isn't matching your W 2, it's buying back your time, dollar by dollar, hour by hour. And those are two very different math problems. And almost everybody is solving the wrong one, right? So the real number is usually smaller, it's more achievable. So why does almost every doctor I talk to still say, I replace my whole income as goal number one? Why do smart analytical people keep picking the harder number, the less accurate one? Well, I can tell you why. Because I did the exact same thing. So when I started building out coaching, I did what felt responsible. I sat down, I looked at my clinical income, and I set a target that was basically match that number fully by the end of year one. Okay. Again, I'm older. I can tell you what it was. It was $10,000 a month. That's what they were paying back in the, where was it? Early 2000s. And it sounded like a smart goal, sounded ambitious in the right way. Frankly, it sounded like the kind of goal a serious business person would set, which is exactly the trap. I wasn't setting a number based upon what I actually needed. I was setting a number based upon what I thought would impress somebody watching. And it was completely the wrong number. So for the first few months, I wasn't hitting it. And I wasn't hitting it because nobody replaces a full clinical income in 12 months from a standing start. That's knowing how this works, not for almost anybody. But I didn't know that going in. All I knew was that I had a number on a whiteboard, and every single month I checked it against it, and every single month there was a gap. Sometimes it shrank a little. A lot of times it shrank a lot. Sometimes it didn't move at all. And the gap didn't feel like early stage business right on schedule. This is completely normal. It felt like failure. Every month, a fresh little dose of it. And here's what it actually cost me. It cost me real actual motivation. I remember stretches like I was working on my business and then not really doing anything about it. I was answering emails instead of the hard work because some part of my brain had already decided the number wasn't coming. So why bother pushing hard this week? And here's the thing that gets me looking back. The business was working. It was growing steadily to a point where it overtook my income on there. But I remember those for a few months that it was just like, hey, nothing is really changing. What am I going to do? But what actually turned around for me was the business changing, was me changing that number. I remember sitting down and, I think it was on a Saturday morning at my coffee, my legal pad, nothing dramatic. And I was like, okay, it wasn't, well, I was answering, what's my salary? It's, what would sound good if somebody asks how this business was doing? And then that smallest amount came in. $500 could help pay for my car payment on there. You had $1,000. Now I got two car payments, helping me pay my mortgage. And slowly by slowly, it was changing that number and allowed me to get freer and freer what I wanted to do with my time. And then suddenly that same business, I didn't feel behind anymore. I was actually ahead. And it was really more of my mindset. It was the number that I was measuring it against that changed. And that changed everything about how the work felt. So when I tell you the numbers matters more than the hustle, I'm telling you that from personal experience. I almost talked myself out of something that was already working because I was grading it against math that had nothing to do with my actual life. I go, hey, this sounds good, but it's not going to replace my real income as a doctor. I want to give you a couple more examples because I think seeing this play out two different ways makes it stick. So you remember I did an episode. I told you about a physician who was stuck choosing between 7 different business audiences. What I didn't tell you was what happened with her number, because once we got her down to one direction, the very next thing we worked out, the same session, the same hour, was what she actually needed. And her answer surprised her. She didn't really need to fully replace her practice income. She landed on a number that was maybe a fourth of what she currently made, but it was tied to something specific. It was 5 to 10 hours a week on her own schedule. No employer telling her when. That was the actual target. It wasn't a headline grabbing number, but it was a real one. It was built around what would generally change her life. Because it was real, it didn't feel impossible. It felt close. It was achievable in months, not years. Now, contrast that with a physician I know who went the entire other direction entirely. She started a side venture with real potential, good idea, good market. She had the credibility for it. But she went in with this big number in her head, an aggressive, ambitious, I want this to be a real business, fast number. And when the first few months came in nowhere close to the number, she read it as proof like, hey, this idea, it doesn't work. She quit. She folded the whole thing, not because the business was actually failing, because it was failing to hit a target that was really never realistic. Not for month 3 or 4 of any business ever. She measured a marathon with a sprints number, deciding she lost the race and walked off the track before mile 2. And what gets me about this story is her idea was really good. The market was there, the credibility was real. Only thing that killed it was the number she picked to judge it by, not the business. It was just the math. Same starting point, roughly the same kind of ambition, same kind of physician. One walked out with a number that fit her life and kept going. One walked out with a number that didn't and stopped. And that's the whole episode, honestly. Right there in these two outcomes. The number isn't a detail. It's the difference between quitting and continuing. And I think that's the trap. And it doesn't feel like a math problem when you're in it. It feels like this isn't working. I should stop. But 9 times out of 10, here's what's happening. I sit down with the doctor. We work out the real freedom number versus the vanity number they've been quietly measured against. And the business was doing fine. It was better than fine. It just never had a fair number to prove itself against. So let's fix it. Here's how you find your actual number tonight in about 5 to 10 minutes. So I want you to get a pen, a piece of paper. If you're driving, okay, you can go back and pull it on the side of the road. Let's do this out. What is your freedom number? Well, it's not your salary. I want you to ask yourself, what's the smallest amount of monthly income from this business that would let me change one thing about my week? Example I gave, she was able to not work on a Sunday. Another one would say they could drop a call shift. Another one cut a clinic day. Say no to that weekend rotation. Put a real dollar figure on that one specific change, not a vague financial freedom, an actual line item. What does dropping that Sunday call actually cost you income-wise to replace? Write that number down. For most of you, once you actually run the math instead of eyeballing it, it's dramatically smaller than your salary. Maybe a few $1,000s a month, not a few $100,000 a year. So that's step one. Step two is your proof number. This one's even smaller, and it's the number you should actually be checking week to week and early going, not your freedom number. It's simple. The first real repeatable dollar that tells you the concept works. Your first paying customer, your first $1,000 a month on repeat, not a one-time fluke, an actual pattern. The proof number isn't supposed to change your life. It's not supposed to impress anybody. What it is supposed to do is answer one question. Does this concept actually work in the real world with real strangers paying me real money? And that's it. And it answers that question a lot faster than your freedom number ever will. All right, let's go to step three, the time check. Take whatever number you land on for either of those and divide it by the hours you're actually willing to give this business every week. I want you to be honest here, not the hours you'd give in a fantasy version of your schedule, the hours you'd realistically give it while still being a physician, a parent, a person with a life. If the math means you're trading one 60-hour grind for another 60-hour grind, just with a different boss, namely you, well, that's not freedom. That's the same problem wearing a different outfit. A real freedom number has to survive this check, or it's not actually buying you what you think it's buying you. Again, let me walk you through this with round numbers. I don't want it just to be theory. Say you're a hospitalist. The thing you want to drop is 1 week of nocturnist coverage a month. So let's say that's worth $4,000 to you to replace it. Well, that's your freedom number, $4,000 a month, not $400,000 a year. Now your proof number, you're not trying to hit 4,000 out of the gate. You're trying to prove the concept works at all. So your proof number might be $500 a month on repeat from real paying people. Hit that and you know the engine runs. Now scale it. And then your time check, if getting to that $4,000 freedom number means working 30 hours a week on top of your clinical schedule, well, that's not freedom. That's just a second job. So you adjust the offer, the price, or the timeline until the math actually works for the life you have, not the life a business book assumes that you have. And that's it, guys. That's your whole exercise. Just 3 numbers one afternoon, and suddenly, guess what? You're not guessing anymore. I'd love for you to run those 3 hours tonight for your own situation. Write your own real figures, freedom number, proof number, time check, and then measure your business against those, not against your old salary, not against some number you saw in somebody else's success story on Instagram, not against the number you picked because it sounded impressive at a dinner party. Now, I know some of you have an injunction already, but because I hear constantly, Mike, what if my freedom number isn't actually good enough to allow me to quit medicine? Well, here's my answer. You don't need to quit medicine on day one. Nobody does. And honestly, almost nobody should. Right out of the gate, you need momentum. And your freedom number isn't fixed in stone forever. It grows as the business grows the same way your confidence and your customer base grow. My podcast isn't about you quitting medicine. It's about you taking charge of your physician career life to allow you the freedom to let you do what you want to do. You want to do it because you want to practice medicine, not because you need it. And the whole point of this exercise isn't to set a permanent ceiling. It's picking a number today that's actually true. Instead of a fantasy number that quietly, slowly convinces you to give up on something that was working the whole time. Here's a second objection. What if I do this math and my freedom number is basically nothing? Like it's embarrassingly small. Well, good. That's not a bad outcome. That's the best possible outcome. A small, honest number you can hit in 90 days beats a huge, impressive number you never hit at all. A small number isn't a small goal. It's a fast one. So tonight's homework, grab a pen, write down your freedom number, your proof number, and do the time check on both. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. That's generally all it takes. Now, if you get through that and you're still not sure what your real number actually is, well, that's exactly what a strategy session with me is actually built for. Same if you got the number already, but you didn't have no plans on how to hit it. So in my strategy session, I work with you 1 hour, one-on-one. We work on your real number and the first steps to get there. I charge $497. It comes right off the price off of any of my programs if you join within 30 days. That sounds good to you. Go to bootstrapmd.com, click at the top, how to join a strategy session with me, and then grab a time. I know we don't have a lot of sessions left for this month. I think I'm opening them up again this month. They do come quick, but I love to work with you on you finding that freedom number. Once you find that number, that right number, you'll be amazed how much closer you are than you already thought. Remember, guys, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have your ups and downs. Do a little something each day to get you closer to your goals and keep moving forward.